The duo is back for seconds, and we've got our hands all over the latest in Temple athletics. And the men's basketball team is looking to fly higher in February than the team did last month.
On national ranking, I think that's the highest we've ever had, and that was a team goal that we had, is to get into the top 5, and so they were very excited. We were very excited about that.
The fencing team is reaching heights they never have before. Now ranked number 5 in the nation, we'll get into the Owls' success on OwlSports Update, which is live and it starts right now.
What's going on, Owl fans? Welcome inside a TV Studio 3 alongside my co-anchor, JJ Mahowski. I'm Adam Cronally. Today, as usual, we will bring you the latest on Temple sports, a program record, a season record, and a season opener.
All mixed in with a few classic rock references, and we'll top it off with a brand new edition of Join My Parliament. But first, Adam, let's hit the hardwood.
The men's basketball team welcomed another AAC opponent to the LACROSSE Center last Saturday after finishing the month of January with a 1-7 record. But now it's February. As you see there, Nate Pierre-Louis finishes at the other end on the fast break, rocking those Kobe and Gigi tributed shoes. But then remember that ugly loss at the Palestra where Temple didn't score for 9.5 minutes? Well, in this game, Temple goes from up 16 to trailing at the half by 2 after a field goal drought that lasted about 11 minutes in total. Coach McKee gets Temple's act together in the second half. Early on in the second half, you'll see ECU thinks they have an easy layup. Quinn Rose says absolutely no to that. And how about some more defense? Nate Pierre-Louis disrupts the pass, finishes at the other end for 2. Temple outscores ECU 46-32 in the second half, cruising to a 76-64 victory, tying its win total from a month ago.
Whenever you're on a losing streak like this, it can be easy to divert and go separate ways, but I just had to make sure I remained that glue guy for us and kept everybody together.
We get in trouble when we turn that ball over, and sometimes it's a result of when teams start to make shots, they start to make runs. As I just said, we get a little uptight. And the first thing I said to the guys when we came in at halftime was, relax. It's just basketball. Relax. Make the right play, make the right decision.
Well, it's early, but Temple is 1-0 in the month of February at the LACROSSE Center. Plus, the team gave its fans a little thank you gift for its support. Every time the Owls score 76 points, everyone in attendance gets a free taco from Qdoba. JP Mormon II had his first double-double of the season. Overall, 4 different Owls finished in double figures in the scoring column. And on to Wednesday's game where the Owls left North Broad to take on Memphis. And let's just say the Owls did not have the eye of the tiger. Memphis led for most of the game, including the entire second half. Temple shot below 30% from 3 and missed 6 free throws in just the second half. Lester Quinones led the way for the Tigers with 21 points en route to a 79-65 victory over the Owls. Temple is now 11-11 on the season and will be back home on Saturday to take on SMU.
When a 4-5 conference team like Wichita State comes to town, it's a game you have to win at home, especially when you're making a run towards a tournament in March. Case in point, the women's basketball team in the American, there's 7 teams all sitting within 2 games of one another, and Temple is a part of that bunch. It was National Women and Girls in Sports Day, and all in attendance got quite the show. First quarter of play, and like Fleetwood Mac, Marissa Mackins can go her own way. She takes it to the basket and finishes the game with 18 points. To the other side now, Wichita State is setting trends, and the three-point basket was a big one here. Shockers were 15 of 27 beyond the arc and dominated the second quarter, limiting the Owls to just 9 points. I couldn't even find the rim in the game. Yes, that's me airballing 3 times from half court. Second half now, Temple kicks the ball to the outside and Ashley Jones knocks down the jumper. The Owls struggled to keep up in the threes game despite a third quarter comeback, and Wichita State was really able to make their shots down the stretch. Wide open shot from 3 here, and the Shockers dagger. Temple drops a crucial game inside McGonigal Hall. Final score 85-75.
We turned the ball over too many times. We couldn't take care of it. I think they scored 34 points off of turnovers. I had 6 myself, and that's just unacceptable.
We're not defending the ball screen the way that we talked about defending it, so it causes somebody to help that maybe we didn't want to help, or just not moving, just falling asleep. It's just pride, honestly.
Yes, those turnovers that Temple are talking about are crucial. 20 turnovers for the Owls, leading to 34 points for the Shockers. Ashley Jones led the way for the Owls with 24 points, going 8 for 17 from the field. Senior guard Maya Brewer scored 19 points and was 5 of 6 beyond the arc to add to the Shockers' bench total of 43 bench points in the game. The Owls are now 5-4 in the American Athletic Conference. And while the Owls might have been defeated on Wednesday, this season has been a bounce back after 2 straight years of finishing below 500. The Owls are eyeing a postseason appearance for the first time in 3 years. OwlSports Update's Jimmy Toohey has the story.
It's a great comeback story. 3 seasons in the making. After 12 wins 2 seasons ago and 11 wins last year, the Owls are learning how to win all over again.
They're learning how to win, and I think they enjoy it now, and they enjoy playing with each other and actually trying to get things accomplished together. I think they support one another. They're always trying to talk to each other and help each other through things. The atmosphere is definitely different.
Temple started the week with 13 wins, sitting in 3rd place in the AAC. The team is averaging 5 more points this season compared to last year. This is largely due to some fantastic performances from key players such as sophomore guard Marissa Mackins, who's in the middle of a breakout season, averaging more minutes, points, and a higher 3-point percentage than in her freshman year. And of course, there's the continued dominance of junior forward Mia Davis, who's currently 19th in the country in points per game.
The Owls have truly been the cardiac kids this season, including last Wednesday's victory against UCF. The Owls have won 7 games this year with the final score being decided by 10 points or less.
Even when it just comes down to winning close games, we've won a lot of close games this year. Last year we weren't winning those games.
Reporting from McGonigal Hall, I'm Jimmy Toohey, OwlSports Update.
The Owls will have to continue their progress as all of their remaining games this season are against AAC opponents. They currently sit 6th in the conference, but only a game and a half from 2nd place. And with the recent positive results for the women's basketball team, there's a big question as to Temple's eligibility for the big dance in March.
For the men's team, it seems like it'll be conference tournament or bust. But before March comes for either team, they have to play the remaining schedule, which is, of course, February and the beginning of March. And it's not going to be an easy stretch.
The first challenge the women's team has to face is its 4 road contests. The Owls team will head to USF, ECU, and UCF in the month of February and will conclude their season at Tulane on March 2nd. The good news here is that Temple has already defeated UCF and USF in the calendar year, but each of those contests was close. Temple won the game by only a combined 5 points, defeating UCF by 2 points and a 3-point victory over USF.
So the women have 7 games remaining, as JJ just talked about. 3 of those will be at McGonigal Hall. On Saturday, February 15th, they'll have their Pink Out, which is a Play for K event recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And the other 2 games are also in February as well. They're playing Memphis and Tulsa.
For the men's team, the outlook at home is going to be huge. If the team is going to win out and make it to the NCAA tournament, it's not an easy path. At home, Temple takes on SMU, Villanova, UConn, USF, and Tulsa. The big games that jump out to me here are, of course, the matchup with number 10 ranked Villanova, who was upset by Butler on Wednesday night. That game will be on February 16th, but also keep an eye out for when conference leader Tulsa comes to town on March 4th, Adam. The Owls will look to get revenge against UConn and SMU, who both defeated Temple earlier on in the season.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, JJ. Winning out at home it doesn't seem very logical with the way the season has gone. Of course, that Nova game is important. They could share a part of the Big Five title, which is certainly something to watch. But in my opinion, I think it's going to be, winning the AAC tournament, which is a pretty substantial task in itself. That tournament will start on March 12th in Texas. But while the basketball seasons are well into their second halves, the spring sports are either in the swing of things or just about to get started.
A tennis victory, coaching hires, and if you haven't had enough of my controversial sports opinions, we'll take to Twitter later with Join My Parliament.
Plus, you don't want to miss this piece on why Damian Moore changed his number from 23 to 44 this offseason on the men's basketball team. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Welcome back to OwlSports Update. The men's tennis team notched its first 2 wins of the season last week, improving its record to 2-2. The team beat St. Francis College and Brooklyn and UConn respectively. Eric Boscovenow and Marine Del Mas got their first wins of the day in doubles as Temple swept both matches with a 7-0 win. The Owls will head to George Washington for their next match on Sunday in D.C.
Over the past couple of seasons, we have seen many jersey number changes on the men's basketball team. Shiz Alston Jr. changed his number to honor his father, while Alani Moore elected to take number 0 in honor of a high school coach. This year, it's Damian Moore who was motivated to change.
Joining us live from the LACROSSE Center is OwlSports Update's Courtney Murphy with more. Hey, Courtney.
Thanks, guys. For the past 3 seasons, Damian Moore has wore the number 23 on the court. But for his final season, his senior year, he now wears number 44. This number change was sparked by a sudden tragedy.
Every time Damian Moore walks onto the court, he brings the memory of an old friend with him. The senior center and LSU forward Wade Sims first met when they were in high school playing AAU ball.
Wade was a genuine, loving person, always excited, always goofy. Everyone loved him just by his personality. On a basketball standpoint, he came in ready to work every day, so he's a hardworking person and just something I was close to.
In September 2018, Sims lost his life to gun violence. This left Moore devastated.
It was just so hard that day. I managed to practice, but it wasn't my best.
Alumni Ernest Aflakpi and Quentin Rose were one of the first of his teammates to hear the news. Once the rest of the team found out, it was nothing but comfort and love for Moore. The team was very essential in his time of grief.
He's my brother. He's all of our brothers, so just bringing him in, and I had to make sure he was comforted, and just making sure he was good with everything.
The jersey change from 23 to 44 was an easy decision for Moore. Each game, he looks at his jersey and remembers who he is playing for, and his game has changed along the way.
Yeah, he's a little bit more aggressive, shooting the ball a little bit more, and definitely just coming into himself as a player as a whole. I want to remain 44 to know who I'm playing for. I know that's what he would want, and if that happened to me, that he would have done the same for me.
In the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks will retire the number 24 in honor of Kobe Bryant. This trend might stretch across the entire NBA. From reporting live from the LACROSSE Center, I'm Courtney Murphy. Adam, JJ, back to you.
Courtney, on to the Ken Anderson Invitational, where it's been a back-and-forth start to the season for the gymnastics team. The Owls are either sweeping other teams or getting swept themselves. This meet went in favor of Temple. The team had victories over the University of Bridgeport and Ursinus College that moved the Owls to 4-4 on the season. Delaney Guerin and Faith Leary took home ECAC weekly honors for their performances. Overall, Temple's team score was 195, the second highest in program history.
The lacrosse team opens its season Saturday at the Temple Sports Complex. For a squad loaded with experience at every position, the team is positioned to improve upon last year's third-place conference finish. OwlSports Update's Luke Milai has the story.
If experience is everything, then the Temple lacrosse team might have something to talk about in 2020. 17 returning juniors and seniors on a team that finished third in the AAC in 2019.
Between the junior and senior class, there's 17 of us coming back, and it's very exciting to know that we have this line. We have at least a starting lineup, if not two starting lineups, that are just experienced and ready to get after and excited to get after it this year.
Coaches in the AAC might not be quite as optimistic. The Owls were picked to finish fourth in the preseason conference poll, but the top four make the postseason.
Last season, Temple maintained possession thanks to Marin Lowell, who was second in the American in ground balls. But really, it all starts right here.
We've really been focusing a lot on little details like that, especially the draw control, because that is a big opportunity that can either lead to a scoring play for your team or against your team, so we definitely want to control those moments.
And if anyone knows about possession and experience, it's Lowell, who was one of 4 Owls to gain preseason all-conference honors.
Marin has been, just a huge part of kind of this run for the past 3 years. Her experience, her enthusiasm, she's super smart in the cage and in the classroom. And having not just her experience, but honestly her drive to be the best and for our team to be the best is really kind of what's helping lead us.
And the Owls will have plenty of opportunities to impress at home, with 7 of their first 8 at Howard Field. At the Temple Sports Complex, I'm Luke Milai, OwlSports Update.
And as Bon Jovi once sang, Temple University, who says you can't go home, or stay home for that matter? Temple will start the season at home, and they won't hit the road until March 4th. I guess it's a good sign that Puxatawny Phil deemed an early spring, because the 6-game home slate starts on Saturday as GW makes the trek up 95. In the upcoming week, the Owls will host Rutgers, Princeton, St. Joe's, Coastal Carolina, and LaSalle. You can tune into the game on Owls TV with yours truly on air for the call. And sticking with the themes of classic rock songs, we're only halfway there, but we won't be living on a prayer to get through this one, Adam.
Don't touch that remote or go anywhere, because we have a brand new edition of Join My Parliament in just a little bit. But first, the fencing team is getting national attention yet again. But this time, it's a bit more attention than the team has ever had before.
On national ranking, I think that's the highest we've ever had. And that was a team goal that we had, is to get into the top 5. And so they were very excited.
Welcome back to OwlSports Update. There's more football, and our own Ray Dunn is back for the latest on a former Temple coach. I guess the Carolina Panthers are now the Temple South?
I guess so, yes. Last week, one longtime Owl made his way to the pro football ranks when the Panthers announced the hiring of Ed Foley. He joins Matt Rhule's staff for the 3rd time, previously serving under him at Temple and Baylor. Foley is a South Jersey native and graduate of Adam Crognally's alma mater, Cherry Hill East. His brother Glenn was a quarterback in the NFL, playing for the Seattle Seahawks and New York Jets. As for Ed, he served 11 seasons as an assistant coach with the Owls, twice being called on in an interim role as the head coach for bowl games. The first time was in 2016 for the Military Bowl against Wake Forest after Matt Rhule left for Baylor. Most recently, he served in a temporary role in the Independence Bowl against Duke after Jeff Collins left for Georgia Tech in 2018. He gained internet fame with his fired-up speech leading up to that game about how great the people in his Temple program are. After Rod Carey took over the team in 2019, he moved Ed Foley to an off-the-field role. Foley then left the program last July to join Rhule's staff at Baylor. During his tenure at Temple, he guided a stout special teams unit and was the tight ends coach for Collins and Rhule. Former Temple tight end Kenny Aboa on Twitter called Foley one of the best coaches he's ever had. Foley told the Philadelphia Inquirer that the opportunity to coach in the NFL was a dream come true. He'll serve under Chase Blackburn, who is in his 3rd season with the Panthers on the special team staff. Certainly exciting to see what he and Rhule will do. Reporting from the studio set, I'm Ray Dunn. JJ and Adam, back to you.
So much, Ray. To fencing, the team went 7-3 across both days at the Northwestern multi-meet. Its 3 losses are all coming from ranked teams, including nationally ranked #1 Princeton. Temple is now ranked at #5. It's the highest program rank in program history. There's been a lot of hard work that has gone into the fencing team earning its highest rank in school history. On top of that, the team has excelled in the classroom, earning a 3.51 team GPA in the fall semester. OwlSports Update's Porter Deacon has the story that best combines student athletes.
Nikki Frank has been the Temple fencing coach since 1972, and she's never had a team like this one.
Our national ranking, I think that's the highest we've ever had, and that was a team goal that we had, is to get into the top 5, and so they were very excited. We were very excited about that.
In the latest national rankings, the Owls moved up to 5th place in the country, their highest rank in program history. This achievement came as a result of Temple beating then top-ranked Notre Dame on January 19th at the Philly Invitational.
I think the team culture this year is really good. I think we've all bonded really well. We're incredibly supportive of each other.
The team is even finding themselves recognized not just for their athletic success, but also for their academic achievements, earning a collective 3.51 GPA as a team last fall.
I think we talk about it from the time I recruit them. You know, we talk about why they're here, and their first priority is their academics, and then their second priority is their sport.
Academically, I'd like to make Trustee 10 again. Myself, Malia, he, and Megan are all in the Trustee 10, which is the top 10 GPAs in the entire athletic department, so I'd like for us to all make it.
I like to focus on how I can improve rather than like what the actual outcome will be. So for me, it's mostly getting enough sleep, staying healthy, and keeping my body in shape to compete at my highest ability, and also making sure that I can continue to do my schoolwork at my highest ability.
The Owls head to Duke on February 9th for their final team competition on the road. They hope to continue their momentum and finish out the season strong. Reporting from Mitten Hall, I'm Porter Deacon, OwlSports Update.
Thanks so much, Porter.
We'll be back with Join My Parliament. Welcome back to OwlSports Update, and it's time for Join My Parliament. JJ, last week you had an opportunity to get your parliament out there, and it kind of went all right on Twitter. You had some bad feedback too. Yeah. But hey, it's my turn, and my parliament for this week, I'm going to tell you why I think Temple didn't do too well. Temple men's basketball in the month of January, and I think that's because Dre Perry got hurt. If you remember, that was in that SMU game after the upset against Wichita State. His absence seems to really have been felt in the past month, where they only had that one win against Wichita State.
Adam, I'm definitely going to side with you on this one. This team is not playing well, and it hasn't been a good January for them. They only won 1 of those 8 games. It isn't Perry's fault that he was injured, but his absence has been noticed. He was the best shooter, and when he went down, no one stepped up to take over. And last night, he was able to get back in the game, which is good news for the Owls as he came back in against Memphis.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, JJ. And hey, if you guys want to join the conversation as well, of course, just go on to Twitter, search @OwlSportsUpdate, and we'll get you involved in the action. JJ and I will both be on there, and we want to know your thoughts. Dre Perry is, however, back now, JJ, and hey, it looks like Coach McKee's easing him into the lineup, and it could be beneficial moving forward for Temple as they get ready for that AAC tournament that we mentioned. But for now, that's all the time we have. To make sure to follow us on Twitter, as we mentioned, and all social media to get other coverage, of course, courts in session and All Access Pass, JJ. There'll be both digital media platform content that OwlSports Update produces weekly.
Yeah, Adam, and I know people didn't like what I had to say about Parliament last week, but certainly be sure to tune in on Twitter with us and really have a conversation with us. Perry has been a huge part for the Owls, and hopefully we can see them make a run towards the tournament at this point.
He's actually shooting the best from 3 on the team right now.
But for Adam Cronali, I'm JJ Michalski. That's all the time we have for today. Have a great weekend, everybody.